Subhanallah, the scholars they mention about the verse where Musa alayhi salam, he finally has had enough of Fir'aun. Fir'aun has become stubborn. Fir'aun is starting to oppress the people. He wants nothing to do with Islam. So eventually when Musa says this, he makes a dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The scholars they say Musa was making dua and Haroun alayhi salam was saying Ameen, meaning oh Allah accept. What was the dua that Musa alayhi salam made? He said, ربنا اطمس على أموالهم واشدد على قلوبهم فلا يؤمنوا حتى يروا العذاب الأليم. Three things. Oh Allah, destroy their wealth. Oh Allah, restrict their hearts. وَاطْمِسْ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ, meaning don't let them see the truth anymore. Make them more blind. فَلَا يُؤْمِنُوا حَتَّى يَرَوْا الْعَذَابَ الْأَلِيمِ. Don't cause them to believe until they see the punishment of Akhirah right before them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded. He said, قَالَ قَدْ أُجِيبَتْ دَعْوَتُكُمَا فَاسْتَقِيمَا وَلَا تَتَّبِعَانِ سَبِيلَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, indeed I have accepted both of your dua. The dua of Musa and the ta'meen of Haroun alayhi salam. فَاسْتَقِيمَا, so stay steadfast upon my way. The scholars they said the way of Allah here means the Sharia of Allah. Stay steadfast in applying the Sharia of Allah and stay steadfast in calling people to the way of Allah. And don't listen, don't give attention to those that do not know, the ignorant ones. When Musa alayhi salam made that dua, you know when it was accepted? If you look at the tafsir, the scholars of the Salaf, they say that dua took 40 years to come into play. So after 4 years of Musa alayhi salam making dua, and Allah said it's accepted, when did it actually come into effect? 40 years later. What does that teach you? That Allah knows when to do things, the right time, the right place. You as an insan, your knowledge is limited, your wisdom is limited, your ignorance is more than your knowledge, you have 101 faults, you're a makhluk, you're not the khaliq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best disposer of affairs. كَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. What would the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? حَسْبِيَ اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. The prophetic words that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, these beautiful Quranic words that the Sahaba said in times of hardship, and these are the same words that were said by Ibrahim when he was thrown into the fire. حَسْبِيَ اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is enough for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs. So 40 years later, eventually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unexpectedly destroys Fir'aun and his army completely. And at the time, Fir'aun was at his peak. Had an army, they say, close to 1 million people, 1 million troops, going after Musa. As a miracle, the ocean splits open. Fir'aun goes after him, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with one just within a few seconds destroys everything that Fir'aun ever amassed of the dunya.